So my name is Andres. This is the Baking Steel Test Kitchen. So thank you guys for coming. This is about our 13th, maybe 14th Zoom class since this COVID thing started, and it's been amazing. Really enjoying doing these classes. Mostly we've covered pizza and random things. We did sourdough the last few weeks. Today we're doing something on the griddle, which we haven't done yet. We're gonna do fluffy pancakes because we had this incredible recipe in our Baking with Steel book by Jen Lewis, which is just brilliant. It was like an Asian sausage with pancakes kind of built into the pancakes or cooked in. So we're doing a spin on that today. Chef Craig's like famous waffle recipe, self-proclaimed famous, but famous nonetheless. Doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you're famous. So we're gonna share our fluffy pancake secret today with you guys. So stay tuned for that. We are using our skinny griddle on our gas range. And if you don't have a griddle version, you could use the baking steel. That's fine. It's the same material. It's not gonna be as smooth, and there's no place for the excess oils or fats to kind of roll off. So if you are using a baking steel, it's gonna work great, but just be careful of excess fat spilling off the sides. You don't want that because that creates a fire hazard and a mess. And you don't want, and you might destroy your stove at the same time. So just be mindful of that. But otherwise, it's gonna work beautifully. And I've used it that way before too. But for our purposes today, indoors, griddle, awesome. And we're using the skinny today because actually I let someone borrow my mini and I haven't seen or heard from them. I'm gonna have to send Craig after them in like weeks. Can you believe that? And by the way, I've lent out 3 steels since this pandemic started, which is awesome. So I'm actually grateful for that. So, but my other first time in the history of baking steel, I've got no baking steels in there. That top one loaded up. Griddles running low. But any case, pancakes. Let's talk pancakes. And we're gonna make fluffy pancakes. So basically, so I get right to the chase? Let's get right to the chase. To make fluffy pancakes, take your ingredients and literally just take your eggs, separate them. You have your egg yolks, you can see, and you have egg whites. And we've separated these because we're gonna take all of our ingredients first and dump them into a bowl, dry and then wet. And off to the side here, we got our egg whites, okay? And we're gonna whisk these together, make them fluffy, okay? Is that the right word?
Stiff peak.
Stiff peak, yeah, remember that? We'll show you what we mean by that. So we're gonna take our whites separate from the yolks and whisk them together by themselves, and they form these like stiff peaks, almost like a whipped cream, but they're egg whites. And what we'll do is we'll take those whites and fold them into our pancake batter. And that's what makes them fluffy. That's the whole secret. And this, by the way, will work if you buy a pre-made pancake mix because they all do require eggs. So our recommendation to make them fluffy is to separate your yolks from your whites, whip them separately, and then fold them together at the end. And you'll see this forms up just a fluffier batter, which is pretty awesome. So it works for any recipe. We are today gonna share our recipe with you, all of our ingredients. So let's get right to it, okay? And we'll do some questions and answers along the way too, but is that a good, and we're gonna share exactly what's going into this bowl. After this, we'll post the recipe on our YouTube so you can see it, maybe on Facebook as well. For now, I'll just explain to you what we got in here. We're using all-purpose flour. Shout out to Bob's Red Mill, organic. We love organic, you guys know that. Then we take all of our ingredients. We've got baking powder. This is about 1 tablespoon, goes in. Keep an eye on me here, Chef. A pinch of salt, right? My kids will love this. Cinnamon goes in, okay? For dry ingredients, we actually are using brown sugar just because we feel like it. You can use cane sugar, white sugar, you name it, just some kind of sweetener. And again, one of my favorites, vanilla. Give it a little smell first. Beautiful. Vanilla. Oh, I should have put that in afterwards. I should have waited. That's okay. I'm going to whisk these dry ingredients together first, plus the vanilla. That's a secret. Don't try this at home. Yes, you can. Totally. Just, it'll be more dense. Right. If that's all you have, that's fine. All right, so once we whisk our dry ingredients together, we're going to do our wet. We're using a cup of milk. Huh? I'm probably going to use, I'm probably not going to use a full cup. I'm going to use probably 3/4 of a cup. You want this whisk? I can use a spoon. I'm good. I don't want to overmix these, right? And then my egg yolks will go in. 2 egg yolks. And this is really simple, guys, obviously. But here's where and now I'm just going to kind of mix this up lightly. I don't want to overmix my pancake batter. Keep it really simple. And then what we'll do is we'll fold in the egg whites. Actually, Chef Craig's off to the, where is he? Hiding somewhere. He's going to fold in the, he's going to fold in the egg, or he's blending them right now together. Can kind of hear him. I'll put a little bit more milk in there too. A bit more. Altogether, it's just about a cup of milk. And I'm gonna let this sit for a couple of minutes. Grab a napkin. And now what we're gonna do is when our egg whites are whipped, and we'll show you the consistency of that in just a few minutes, we're just gonna fold them into the batter and make our pancakes. They're gonna be awesome. In the meantime, I've got my skinny griddle on the oven preheating. And I like my griddle about 300 degrees. And how I get there, I'll explain in a few minutes. We're just about at the temperature that we want to be. We're just about the same temperature that we want to be, 300 degrees. And how I'll test that if I don't have an IR gun is I'm going to take some butter and I'll do the melt test. And we'll do that live for you guys in a few minutes. But the melt test just means that I don't want the butter to brown too fast, because if it does, then I might kind of brown my pancakes too quickly. So what I like to do is just, that's my ultimate test. So for my griddle, I cranked up the heat on high for maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and then I dropped it down to where it is now, which is really medium to low. And it's just kind of, once I get the temperature, it's gonna stay there. So I'm just blasting a little bit of low heat on there to keep it consistent. And it should stay at that same temperature for literally like hours, which is great. But thankfully, it only takes a few minutes to make pancakes. So let's get to some questions. Do you guys have any questions right now? And then what we'll do is we'll make our pancakes. Chef's gonna help us read these. Oh, you know, I'll do in the meantime. I'll show you. Chef Craig was out here whisking like a madman. We whipped some egg whites. So you can see, we mean like peak. When I kind of poke it, you can see how it's peaking. It's very stiff, right? What we'll do as we get into these questions, I'm gonna fold this into my batter. This is just whites from 2 eggs. Here's my batter. I'm gonna literally just put this in to my mix and fold it. So I'm gonna take the back of a spatula, shout out to GIR, these are awesome silicones, and we just kind of fold it in to our batter. So instead of just egg whites, it's folded egg whites, which adds a little bit different consistency into our pancakes. Pretty smooth, pretty awesome, and it smells absolutely amazing.
Can you use sourdough starter in the pancakes?
Yeah, in fact, Now would be the time to do that, right? This would be a perfect time to add the sourdough starter right into it. If you have a little discard, basically it's going to add some really nice flavor. I've got some, but I'm not going to add them in right now. But yeah, great question, and yes, you can.
Do you have the steel over 2 burners or just 1?
2 burners. I'm using the skinny griddle, and I've got it fits perfectly over 2 burners. I'll give you a close-up soon. I'm actually only using one of the burners because we're going to move the computer in a few minutes, and I don't want to melt my computer. What's up, Dundee?
How much flour?
2 cups. 2 cups of flour, all-purpose.
Are we making pancakes now?
Yes, we're gonna make pancakes in just a few minutes.
Don't know how much to add of each ingredient.
Okay, so I'll run through the recipe really quick right now, but we're gonna add this. It's too, if you wanna write it down, you can right now, but we're gonna add this to you guys later so you'll have it. In fact, we might just put up a blog post. It's 2 cups of all-purpose flour, tablespoon of baking powder, teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 pinch of salt, teaspoon of vanilla, 2 eggs separated, 1/4 cup of sugar. We use brown, 1 cup of milk, and I grabbed a stick of butter, and we'll use that in a little bit. Now keep in mind, these measurements are not critical. We're cooking, we're not baking, so it's really flavor enhancement. So if you like cinnamon, add some more, right? That pretty much answers that. If you like vanilla or you don't like vanilla, take it away. If you want to add some chocolate chips to it, go ahead. Okay? Anything else?
What's an IR gun?
Good question. It's an infrared gun. This one's Thermal Predator, it's called. Probably not an appropriate name these days, but it basically measures by laser. You can see my laser's broken, but it measures by the surface temperature of our steels. And it's great for, actually it even works for my body temperature too. Not as accurately, but it just keeps track. It helps me maintain a steady temperature. So my steel is probably 300 degrees. See, yeah, perfect. It's like 320 degrees. Let's go over to the stove and make some pancakes. I'll show you guys how we do this. I'm gonna try this angle first, Chef. Is that good for you guys? Is that good? Yeah, all right. So you guys can see I've got this griddle over 2 burners. I'm only using the front burner here. It's on medium heat. So we've got a stick of butter, you guys. I'm grabbing a stick of butter. And what I like to do with the butter is, it's my fat so my pancakes don't stick, right? Adds a little bit of flavor. I'm gonna kind of wipe it onto my, my griddle. Can you see it like bubbling nicely? But it's not turning brown. So in other words, it's not past the burning point of the butter, which I know to be about 320 degrees. So it's browning a little bit, which is cool, but it's not turning black, which is really nice for my griddle temperature. So now I'm pretty steady here. I've got my pancake batter. I'm just gonna make 2 here for you guys. Pick one right here, boom. I make another right here, boom. I could probably load this thing up with like 8 pancakes, if you will. But what I'm trying to do is cook these for maybe 2 or 3 minutes on each side. When they really start to bubble up, and not until then, I'll make my flip. And then I'll cook them for another minute on the other side, and our pancakes are done. You can see, not much going on here. Pancakes being cooked. Any questions, you guys?
You talked between steel and cast iron.
Yeah, so steel and cast iron, great question. I'm a steel guy first. So in my former life, when I would make products with my dad's business, we'd make fabricated stabilizer pads for backhoes, made them out of steel, we'd cut steel, would fabricate it together, would weld it, etc. Super strong from an engineering standpoint. And this stuff would withhold like, tens of thousands of pounds of machinery that would kind of come in contact with it. Well, we had some competitors that would make a knockoff version of what we did, and they would use cast iron. that was my first experience with cast iron, not in the kitchen, but from the construction field. And what we found is that the cast iron, the copycats, all their products would be brittle and break out in the field because it couldn't hold, it wouldn't be as strong as our steel, which was interesting. So then as I got into back into the cooking world, all I knew how to do was make industrial strength products. So I thought we'd make a low carbon steel pan. This thing is 22 pounds, super heavy, super strong. It distributes heat incredibly well because of the weight and the thickness of the material. So now we have cast iron pans, which are really nice, made out of iron, strong, right, for the home use, but brittle. It could break. You don't see that happening because there's not a lot of, not that much tension in kitchens, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't distribute the heat really well because there's hot and cold pockets in that steel. Unlike a low carbon steel, like our baking steel, it's a much even cooking surface than, let's say, a cast iron would be. Does that answer that question? It's long-winded, huh? Let's look at our pancakes again. I'm starting to get some holes. So I'm gonna peek underneath, oh boy, right? And check this out. Almost there. I wanna get a few more bubbles. Have you seen a close up of those, Chef? Pretty good. I'm waiting another minute or two, but they are fluffy. You can see what the egg whites are doing. Almost there. I'm gonna wait another 15 or 20 seconds. I'm gonna flip them. Good? Mm-hmm. I do. Yeah. Great. So what we're gonna do, now's the time. We've got some blueberries, organic blueberries. If you're gonna add blueberries, this is the time to do it, right? I'm gonna throw them right on top. Isn't that awesome? And now what we'll do is we'll flip these over. I'm gonna keep one non-blueberry. Flip these over. Oh, look at that. Look at that color. In the blueberry version of the same thing. Awesomeness. I'm gonna press that down just a little bit. It's really pretty. Can you guys see how fluffy these are? What I love about the steel is that we've got this really crisp outer layer of pancake. And then we've got, it's gonna be soft in the middle. So we're kind of searing the pancake. It's beautiful. This side won't take as long. In fact, I'm just about done now. Look at a plate. Let's take a peek. Beautiful, like another 10 seconds, we'll be there. They smell awesome. Hope they smell amazing. Cook great, right? Nice color on top. Yeah, I don't have this back burner on here, so this one didn't get the color I wanted, but it's almost there now. Let's pull them off. See the blueberries? Secret ingredient, awesomeness. You guys can see, kind of got these fluffy pancakes, awesomeness. I got some blueberries under here, little surprise, flavor surprise. It's gonna taste like a muffin, and we'll eat these in a few minutes. But that's it, guys. I mean, the nice thing about the steel is that if I go to round, if you guys have griddles at home, and we've all used those electric griddles, or even cast iron on the stove, thinner gauged, you almost gotta let your steel warm up again. Whereas the baking steel, as I put my next round of pancakes on, it's gonna cook just as fast as the first one. And we're talking minutes. Every round is gonna be just as fast as the first round. And that's the beauty of the baking steel. Again, it just rebounds so quick, stays hot once it gets hot, that kind of thing. So let's get to some more questions.
Best recommended temp in the oven for keeping warm?
Ooh, great question. I would guess 250 to 300.
Yeah, not too hot.
Yeah, you don't want it cooking more, you just want it warm. So yeah, this would be, in fact, I'll put these in the oven if I'm not gonna eat them. And yeah, like 250, because it's just warm enough. But you don't wanna cook them more, right? So just keep it hot. In fact, we've got this red light over here. I shut it out. We've got this red light, you guys can see. It's like a heating lamp on the hood of the monogram. Secret weapon. Actually used it
To proof dough, right?
Oh yeah, we've used it to proof dough before, so it does come in handy.
How much mix for each pancake?
How long do
Was
we
it-
mix it for?
No, like how much was that? Like a 3-ounce ladle?
Oh,
4-ounce ladle?
yeah.
2-ounce ladle?
This has got to be.
Oh, 2-ounce ladle.
Oh yeah, 1 ladle. And these are, I mean,
That
probably
size?
that size, 4 inches in diameter. Beautiful color on them, which is awesome. You know, it's dealer's choice. It doesn't, you know, there's no right or wrong answer. I would probably, if I was doing all these at one, I'd probably make 8 that same size on the griddle. You could fit 2 rows of 4. But, you know, sometimes my kids like 1 big pancake too. This varies.
My kids like little ones.
Okay, or yeah, dollar
Silver
sign,
dollar, right?
silver dollar ones. There's no right or wrong answer. The big thing that we learned today was separate your eggs, no matter what recipe you're using, and whisk your egg whites to peak performance, so they peak, and then fold them in. Any recipe will work.
Can you use the griddle on an electric stove?
You certainly can. If I have an electric stove, and my mom has one, so when I was testing these out, that's what we used. She had an electric ceramic. It works great. Those electric ovens go on and off. They I don't know, it's weird to me, but they tend to kind of flash on or flash off. So it's difficult to keep a steady temperature. So I would lean towards the mini griddle, it will fit perfectly over 1 burner. And that's what I would go with. Or maybe the skinny, which would go over 2 burners. But typically those 2 burners are different sizes. So just, you know, be mindful that you're not gonna have the exact same size burners with your griddle, which works, by the way. You just need to kind of figure out the rhythm.
Can you use ghee instead of butter?
Totally, yeah, absolutely. No problems. I've actually used avocado oil is a great browning agent for your, and if you want to go vegan on your pancakes, then we wouldn't be doing. I don't know do those non-egg or vegan eggs, do they whip?
I haven't done that.
Maybe we'll try that next.
Flaxseed.
Has anybody tried vegan eggs? Have you ever tried to whip them? Let us know in the comments, or let us know now. This will be on YouTube later, yes. And make sure you follow us on YouTube, by the way. We're putting more and more content out on Baking Steel. You can search Baking Steel on YouTube. And if you guys have any requests for a Zoom class, please let us know. Oh, you've tried the vegan egg whites. Did they whip?
Results were okay.
Okay.
Not great.
As far as whipping or flavor?
Whipping.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yep.
I like to add slices of banana and sprinkle cinnamon sugar the same way you add the blueberries. They caramelize. Will the steel be wrecked for the next batch if the cinnamon sugar is added?
No, because you can literally just scrape it on the fly. Do that all the time. In fact, just grab your bench scraper and just give it a scrape. Paper towels work too. Just give it a quick clean. That's why you don't like it too hot, because it's a little easier to keep it going.
Pita and tortilla class. Did we do pita?
We did a pita. If you
Yeah,
look back on our YouTube channel, you'll see a pita class. I think we actually did a video for it as well.
Yeah.
And tortilla, we have not done. Good point. We could do tortillas, yes, on the griddle especially,
Yeah.
which also is the baking steel. Good ideas. All right, awesome. You guys rock. Thank you again for coming and visiting with our Chef Craig and I at the test kitchen. If you want any pancakes, give us a call. Come on over. We got plenty. We're gonna make a bunch. And thanks, guys. We'll check you later. Bye.